Hey there, good looking. Join me for this full body Metcon, where we will not only get your heart rate up and blast a ton of calories, we will also work all of the muscles in your body. Now, I'll be using a TRX and a BOSU as well as dumbbells. However, I recognize not everybody has a BOSU or a TRX. So in the corner screen, you're going to see mini-me doing the same exercises using only dumbbells. So no matter what equipment you have, you are going to get the full meal deal in today's workout. For equipment, I recommend a pair of light, moderate, and heavy dumbbells, as well as a TRX and or a BOSU ball. For those of you that don't own a TRX, you'll need a chair or a bench handy for one of the exercises. Now, if I wasn't recovering from an injury, the dumbbells that I would most likely choose for today's workout are 8s, 15s, and 20s. All right, let's go get warmed up. Before we get started, if you like to track your fitness with your watch, hey, press start now. For reference, I chose the HIIT setting on my Apple Watch. Let's get the core warmed up and then move into a stand position. On all fours, please. Plug those wrists under the shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips. Find a neutral spine, shoulders away from ears. Extend one arm in the opposite leg, reaching, pausing, release, other side. So whether you're using the equipment, the specialized equipment, or dumbbells only, your core is going to work really hard today as we stabilize through all our lifts, as it's used to stabilize the spine, provide power for the lifts. Last two. One more. Big toes together, knees open a bit. Sit your rear end back a bit. Thread one arm through and then reach up, look up. So by sitting back, we are making sure that when we do this rotation, it's going to come through our T-spine, our thoracic spine, and our shoulder, not through our lower back. Last two. One more. This arm comes down, thread the other one through. Again, we're sitting back on the heels a bit. If you can, follow your hand with your gaze. Last two. Plug the wrists back under the shoulders, knees back underneath the hips, tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, hover here, shoulders away from ears, neutral spine, getting some more heat in the core as well as our quads. Breathe, 10 more seconds. Knees down. Come off the hands. Let's use the legs to drive up into stand. There we go. And then from there, alternating reverse lunge. Add the arms, reach them up. Thumbs going to the wall behind you. Your lunge pattern, it's all dependent on how you're feeling today. It might be deep or you might do a micro bend of that back knee. Your workout, I want you to choose what's going to feel good for you and challenge you today. Opening up the hip here while we continue warming up in the lower body. And then these arms, obviously getting the shoulders and all our back muscles fired up. Two more. Last one. Excellent. Let's do some wrist circles, especially if you are going to use the dumbbells. Get the wrists warmed up. And other way. Maybe figure eights. Now, fingers wide, pinky to thumb. Go through the hand like so, and then go back to pinky. Warming up into the fingers now. We'll go a couple rounds here. It's beneficial for those with arthritis in your hands. Last time. Beautiful. Feet hip width, hands at the temple. Pull the shoulders back and down, hip hinge. Focus more on the posterior chain of the body here. and teaching us how to do that hinge through the hips so we don't hurt our low back. We want that neutral spine. Having a sore low back is a total buzzkill. So let's keep it healthy. Two more. Last one. Excellent. Heel lifts. And then if you don't mind a little bit of impact, we're going to do a little bit of hop here. So you choose heel lifts or the hops. We will be doing a little bit of jumping in today's workout. You can easily bring it down to a no impact though, if that doesn't work for you. But this is getting our fast twitch muscle fibers here fired up. And release. All right. We need to either do a reverse lunge and you're stepping back with dumbbells in hand, optional, or lengthen your TRX till the foot cradles are mid-shin. Grab onto both, grab onto one dumbbell, thread one foot through, find your balance, and then drop it down. You can hold on to that dumbbell whichever hand you want when you're using the TRX. Step back lunge, people. 2 dumbbells, 1 dumbbell, no dumbbell, up to you. And then similar to the warm-up, how deep you go is up to you. If you're using no TRX, you're stepping back to feet hip width and then back together again. For today's workout, we have 2 sets, 2 different groupings to do, 40 seconds of work. All right. Let's get the other leg in. Those of you using the TRX, you're going to find one side's easier to get in than the other. Find your balance, everybody. Again, choose what weight you want. Let's commit to it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. With the TRX, having your back foot in it is quite challenging. So make sure you're focusing your stare on something stationary to help with your balance. Take it nice and slow. We'll give the legs a break for the next exercise and work the upper body. All right, release that. Okay, now, heavy dumbbells in hand for a chest press if you don't own a TRX. Mini-Me is doing it with her head and shoulders on a BOSU. If you don't own a BOSU, you'll just do head and shoulders on the ground, but still on a bridge. TRX people, fully lengthened now. Anchor behind us in a plank, wrist straight, lower down, release. This is a new move for you with the TRX. Let's stagger the stance to learn the movement pattern. And then we can bring the feet hip width apart, recognizing the further under you walk towards the TRX, the more challenging this exercise is. Breathe out. Moving into a speed drill next. If you're using that TRX, keep that plank, yeah? Okay. With or without a BOSU. No BOSU people, speed skaters. BOSU people. 1 foot on, give me a little squat, we scoot over. You can take the big bounce or just do a little, up to you. Let's go, up, little. Speed skater. You can do a wide step touch or add a big bound. There's always ways to tone it down and ramp it up. For these 40 seconds, I want you to challenge yourself. Go to speed, a tempo. It's going to get that heart rate up, get you breathing hard. Woo! All right. Dumbbell people, alternating 1 arm row. Moderate weights, neutral spine. TRX people, bring it to mid-length. Line yourself up with the anchor. Arms are straight. Further under you walk the TRX, the harder it is. Squeeze those shoulder blades. If you're using the TRX, we're not allowing our shoulders to round forward. We're not hanging off the straps. Shoulders are pulled back and down. We're also maintaining that plank. Beautiful. Dumbbell people, you got that neutral spine. Dumbbells are close to the body so you don't feel it in your low back. Knees are bent. Alternate that row. Squeeze that shoulder blade as that arm comes up. This is it, crew. We go back to the top for one more round. All right, TRX people, we lengthen. All right, if you're not having a TRX, whatever dumbbells you chose for your lunge, grab them again. Oh, one side's always easier to get in for me than the other. Jeez. Oh, see? I've been doing this for years and I still can't get it. So if you're having a hard time, hopefully that made you smile as you saw me hopping around trying to get my foot in. Dumbbell can be on either side if you're just holding on to one. We'll just remember to hold on to it with the other side when we do the other leg. Now this is our second set through. Can we perhaps hit a deeper depth? Play around with that. Whew. All right, other leg. Find that balance. You want that TRX lined up right behind the head. Whew. Feet hip width apart for my dumbbell people. Reverse lunge. Again, maybe trying to hit a deeper depth this second set. These unilateral movements for the legs are so good for us. We tend to have a more dominant side time, so this type of training makes each side work just as hard. Chest press, either head and shoulders on the BOSU or head and shoulders on the ground in a bridge. We would like heavies for these though. You guys are strong with the press, so let's try it out. TRX people, it's behind us, lined up. We're in a plank. We lower down. Or maybe we're new to this and we're going to stagger the stance to give ourselves some assistance. Once we've got the move, we step back, feet hip width apart, keeping that plank. Knuckles pointed down to the ground, wrists straight. Breathing out as we press up. Cardio drills coming up. Time. TRX people, let's take it to mid-length just so we're ready for the pull-ups. All right, speed skaters, or grab your BOSU up and over your dome. 40 seconds of work. Smiles on. Yeah? Awesome. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Try a little bit of a hop. It's what we call a power move, speed with strength, and it's really getting our fast twitch muscles fired up and stronger. Unfortunately, they do atrophy quite a bit as we get older, which can cause havoc with us trying to move quickly, catching ourselves when we fall, trying to scoot across the road quickly because the car is coming, that idea. Woo. All right, dumbbells, you want the moderates. Alternating row, dumbbells are close to the body so you don't feel it in your low back. TRX people, right in front of us. Arms are straight. Walk forward. The more forward, the harder it is. Shoulders pulled back and down. Drive the elbows behind, chest lifts up. Breathe out as we pull. We'll grab a quick water after this, move into a new set of moves. Keep that plank, TRX people. Don't let the hips go up too much and don't let them sink back. One more. Woo. All right, grab a sip of water. Cheers. Moving into a one-leg squat to start our next series off with. I know it just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? If you don't own a TRX, this is where I'm going to ask you to sit in a chair, alternating that one leg. Chair or bench. All right, those of you with the TRX, we're going to try to go bum all the way to the ground. However, recognize that might not work for you. You go as low as it feels comfortable. We're alternating legs as well, though, so it's not as bad. From there, we're going to move into a narrow press using one dumbbell only. So get your moderate and place it beside your mat or beside your BOSU. All right, let's get set up. Standing in front of a chair or bench. TRX people, elbows under shoulders, lined up with the TRX. Lift a foot up, go down as low as you can. Drive to stand, other leg. Now the TRX is there to help assist us. So I really love the TRX, especially if you would like to learn how to do a pistol squat. This helps give you some help while you teach the body to keep that leg out in front, lowering into one leg. Same thing, 40 seconds of work. Squat people, with the chair, you can also hold on to a dumbbell. One more. All right, now there's no mini-me in the corner for this one because it's pretty obvious what you would do if you don't own a BOSU, right? Head and shoulders on the mat, bum up. Everybody with the BOSU, head and shoulders on. Let's get one elbow in, other arms up as anchor. Exhale, press up, lower down. So our dumbbell is close to the body, elbows closed in, palms are facing each other. It's going to put a little bit more emphasis on our tricep, while also still getting into the pec and front shoulder. In this bridge position, we get into the glutes, a little bit of the back extensors, some hamstrings as well. By having our head and shoulders on the BOSU, it just allows for a bigger bridge, working a little bit more into the glute. 40 seconds here. We'll drop the tush, give it a break, and then do the other arm. Slow and controlled. Time. All right, we want to think strength here, not speed. Speed's going to come for next exercise. All right, let's get set up. Either head and shoulders on BOSU or floor. Hips up high for me, please. Elbow in, other arm is anchor or as target, and press. Good. Breathe out, press. Squeeze those glutes. Coming into a stand position for the next exercise. All right, hips down, dumbbell off to your side so it doesn't get in your way. No BOSU, you'll do a alternating knee lift. Mini-me is going to start with no jump and then add jump. Big me is also going to do the same thing. All right, if you're using the BOSU, alternating knee lift, let's go. Or hop. Getting that heart rate up. In both screens, working balance. And when we work balance, we also get a little bit more core involved here. If you're adding the jump, getting those fast twitch muscle fibers fired up, getting strong. All right. We've got reverse flies. If you have dumbbells, choose the light ones. If you're with me, keep the TRX at mid-length. Get set up in your pull-up position. Now turn the thumbs so they're pointed down to the ground, and let's keep them pointed down as we draw the sides of the hands, pulling them across the side of the face. Not literally, but that's the sensation. So we are moving through a different pattern of our row so we can hit different fibers of our back muscles. Same with those of you with the dumbbells. You did your big lift, your big row, now reverse flies, hitting the smaller postural muscles. For those dumbbell flies, you just move through the shoulders. Slight bend to the elbow, lift up through the shoulders from there. Last one, then we're going to take it from the top. All right. Alternating one leg squat using your chair bench or the BOSU or TRX. PJ. Elbows under shoulders if you're with me, and we're lined up center of our TRX. Pick a leg, everybody lift the other one up, sit all the way down. For those of you using the chair, don't allow your bum just to plunk down when you get to that one point. You know that point I mean when we're sitting. Really try to resist it, control it, so that you're using your quads and hamstrings. And then as we push up, we got a little bit more hamstring and glute involved. Last one. Whew. All right, narrow press, moderate weight. Head and shoulders either on your mat or on the BOSU. Everybody though is giving me a big bridge so we get those glutes, back extensors and hamstrings fired up. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Other arm is an anchor. Press. Slow and controlled. Hips up high. Feel it in the booty. Breathe out as we press up. Release. All right, we're just going to hang here. Switch hands though. Other arm. You got time to wet your whistle if you want to grab a quick sip of water. We're moving in less than 10 seconds. All right, get the head and shoulders set up. Get your bridge. Other arm up as our target. Press up, breathe out. Beautiful, bum down. Dumbbell out of your way. We're gonna do our cardio movement. I don't want you tripping on it. We're using either the BOSU or the ground. Once again, both mini me and big me, for lack of a better way to put me, are going to start with no jump, and then we'll build up. You choose where you wanna be. Maybe it's a jump. If you're doing the jump, we are adding the arms, right? The arms help anytime that we want to get height, momentum. Opposite arm is the one that's driving up as that knee drives up. you're on the BOSU, it's like doing this on a big marshmallow, isn't it? Or what we think would feel like to do it on a big marshmallow. Back move coming up. March it. Nicely done. All right. Whew. So if you don't have the TRX, you're grabbing those light dumbbells for the reverse flies, moving through the shoulder. TRX people, we get set up in the pull-up position, and then we turn the thumbs down and keep them there. Pull up, slow release. Breathe out, release. Chasing that plank still. Gazing at our TRX anchor, so the neck's in line with the spine. If it's not hard enough, walk forward. If you're unable to maintain form, walk back a bit. And even just the slightest movement forward or back will change the intensity greatly. So just do a little shift and see how that feels. We grab water after this. Then we're going to move on with a bicep tricep finisher. Woo! All right, shake it out. Grabbing a quick sip of water before we move on to our finisher. Now, the first exercise we're using the TRX. Many of you will be using one dumbbell. It's a tricep extension behind the head for the dumbbell only. And then we'll move on to a kneeling on the BOSU bicep curl. There'll be no mini-me because you'll simply do the same move but standing. So let's get the BOSU set up first. All right, your dumbbells are close by. Now for the tricep extension, dumbbell only, maybe try moderate. TRX people, we want the anchor behind us. Arms are out in a bit of a angle lined up with the shoulder, palms facing down. From here, we keep the elbows here and we just point them to the wall in front of us and then drive the hands forward. Again, not hard enough. We walk a little bit closer to the anchor and then you'll feel the difference. This is my favorite tricep exercise right here. This TRX move. We have 30 seconds of work. These are smaller muscles and they already assisted us in the last 25 minutes of strength work we've done. So it's not going to take a lot to fatigue them. So think about going a little heavier if you can. Either standing with your pair of moderates or kneeling with your pair of moderates. Now, if you're kneeling on the BOSU, I want you to point the toes so that it's just your shins and your knees on the BOSU. And then we curl, wrist curls in ever so slightly so that it doesn't break out. Squeeze the glutes in so we stay nice and tall from the thighs all the way up to the shoulders. Working a bit of balance here and quads. So again, standing or this one. These are our two moves. We'll go back to the tricep extension when the timer goes. Once again, only 30 seconds, so ask yourself, was that heavy enough? If it wasn't, hey, let's step it up for the next set. Here we go. Behind the head triceps with the dumbbell or arms up, plank in, abs braced. Let your body fall forward as one single unit. It's tough for people to grasp, so if you're having a hard time with this, you're in good company. It's taken many of us a while to learn this one. Once you get it though, oh gosh, like I said, it'll become your favorite TRX tricep move. Again, adjust those feet further or closer to the TRX, depending on how hard you want this. Time. All right. So bicep curl. Maybe you've stepped it up. Just throwing it out there. Standing or kneeling. The kneeling part, we want to take those toes off. So point them. Shoulders back and down. Nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes a little bit if you're here on the BOSU with me. We're not swinging the arms. Breathing as we lift up. That's the hard part. I've always liked this one too. Time. All right, last round. So Tricep extension people with dumbbells. Again, ask yourself, was that last set heavy enough? This is our final one, so if you want to step it up, now's a good time. Ready, set, go. Remember on the app, you have the notes section so you can record what weight you're using. This comes in handy because we do redo some of the workouts through the year in a workout calendar. So you can take a look as to what you were using. Sometimes it's a celebration. It's like, wow, that's what I was using. Now I'm doing this. All right. Other times it's a great reference so that you're not playing around with like, oh, was that heavy enough? Time. No, maybe I could do heavier. So, all right, here we go, kneeling. Eventually though, when you become more experienced, maybe you're already there, bicep curl, you'll remember what weight you need for each movement. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Last set. Last 30 seconds. Woo! And come on off the BOSU. Dumbbells off to your side. Woo. Grab a sip of water. We're going to stretch it out. I'm going to use no equipment to stretch it out. However, if you want to use the BOSU, for instance, for our hip flexor stretch, putting your knee on top of it, go for it. Which is the first stretch we're going to do. Left knee on the ground. Lunge forward. I want you to really tighten up that back glute. Back foot can be gripping under or let it rest. From here, inhale the arm up, separate rib from hip, and give me a little lean away. Get a side body stretch while we also stretch into the hip flexor. Hip flexors are large muscles, strong muscles. They're not large actually, they're quite small, but they're some of our strongest muscles, and they also can be some of our tightest muscles, which can cause low back pain. Let's take this arm up above. You know the drill. Take it nice and slow. PJ special. Circle it behind. Let's do the other side. Give me a good lunge forward. Feel that stretch in that front hip. Squeeze the back glute, and that's going to give us more of a release into the psoas. Inhale up, rib from hip, slightly and away. So when we contract the opposing muscle group, we do get a little bit more of a release. All right, PJ special, circle the arm behind, nice and slow. Big range of motion. Let's take ourselves down onto the mat. Left ankle crosses over the thigh. This figure 4 might be enough for you. If you want a bit more, loop the hands behind the thigh or on top of the shin, guiding this right knee to the outside of the right shoulder. Back of the neck is long. Maybe now it's a good time to close your eyes. Really wind down with a smile on your face because you did it. Right foot to the ground. Left leg extend now. Hands light behind the thigh. Or actually, it doesn't have to be light. Hands behind the thigh. But I still want you to keep that back of the neck long. Now your knee can be bent, or you can try to straighten it, but we don't want the leg to shake. So if it's shaking, let it go a bit. Then if it feels okay, straighten your other leg. left foot to ground, right ankle crosses over. Again, right here could be exactly where you want to be. You can also lift up, hands behind the left thigh or on top of the shin, guiding that left knee to the outside of the shoulder. Readjust, lift the head up, slide the chin in, and just marinate in the stretch. Foot to ground, right leg extends. Find that stretch without the leg shaking. And then if you'd like, straighten your other leg. Release onto the belly, elbows under shoulders. Mini extension of the spine, shoulders away from ears, hips drop to the ground, gaze straight ahead. It's getting some extension in the spine, which is so important for us as we get older. We tend to have more of a flexed spine, especially if we sit a lot. And that creates a lot of issues for our low back. So here we're counterbalancing all that flexion with some extension. This is also a crucial movement here if you've ever had a herniated disc. And then big toes together, knees open as wide as you feel comfortable. Sit back, child's pose, walk the arms forward, forehead to the mat. If that's not available to you, stack your hands and place your forehead on your hands. A couple breaths here. Come on up. Well done, you. I am so proud of you for pushing play today, especially if you're not one that usually does the longer workouts. I hope I showed you that longer doesn't necessarily mean more grueling. It just means that we get a lot more obvious volume in, but we also have a really nice warm up and a wonderful cool down at the end. Thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next workout. Bye.